Welcome back. Today, we're diving straight into a massive shift happening right now in the US pharmaceutical landscape, specifically when it comes to vision care. The costs tied to specialized treatments can be incredibly complex and, honestly, pretty overwhelming. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down some major industry news about a brand new pharmaceutical launch, and we'll map out exactly what it means for the broader healthcare market. Okay, let's just get right to it. Why does saving your vision cost so much? It's the question at the very center of our explainer today. When we talk about age-related vision issues, the financial burden is absolutely staggering. We aren't just talking about picking up a simple pair of reading glasses, right? We're talking about highly specialized, incredibly complex medical interventions designed to literally halt progressive blindness. And while the science is borderline miraculous, the massive price tag attached to it has historically created a huge bottleneck in our healthcare system. To put that into perspective, the annual cost of biologic eye treatments in the US market is immense. We are talking well over $1 billion. The original drugs used to treat these severe eye conditions are what we call biologics. Now, because they're derived from living organisms rather than just simple chemical synthesis, they are ridiculously expensive to research, develop, and manufacture. For patients and for the entire B2B pharmaceutical supply chain that supports our healthcare system, these sky-high costs create a massive financial strain. It's a multi-billion-dollar segment of the industry where astronomical prices have just been the undisputed norm for years. So here is our roadmap for today. 1. The high cost of sight. 2. What exactly is a biosimilar? 3. Biocon enters the US market. 4. The ripple effect on prices. And 5. What this actually means for patients. Let's jump in. Part 1. The high cost of sight and the financial toll of treating macular degeneration. The fear of losing your vision is profound. Treating conditions like macular degeneration requires these incredibly complex, expensive treatments that place a crushing weight on literally everyone involved. Historically, a very small handful of original biologic drugs have completely monopolized this market. And when a single company holds a monopoly on a complex, sight-saving treatment, the strain on the individual patient paying out of pocket and the healthcare system subsidizing that care becomes immense. It essentially boils down to a fundamental problem of supply, demand, and exclusivity. Moving to part 2, what is a biosimilar? Let's decode the science of alternative treatments. Now, what's really interesting here is the market-driven solution. So what is a biosimilar? Well, it's a highly similar, clinically equivalent, and heavily regulated alternative to an original biologic drug. Think of the original biologic as this incredibly complex patented formula. Because it is made from living cells, you can actually never copy it exactly 100%. But scientists can create a biosimilar. It's a rigorously tested alternative that works in the exact same way, providing the exact same clinical and safety benefits to the patient. Let's clarify this with a quick comparison. Think of a traditional generic as simple chemistry. It's an exact copy like generic ibuprofen or a basic digital watch. It's relatively easy to reverse engineer. A biosimilar, though, vastly different. Because it is a complex biologic, you can think of the original drug like a high-end designer watch. A biosimilar is like a master watchmaker meticulously recreating that designer watch, piece by piece. It takes immense scientific capability and rigorous testing to prove to regulators that it has the exact same clinical effect. Part 3. Biocon enters the US market, stepping up as a new contender for aflibercept. And this brings us to the specific news triggering today's explainer. Biocon is officially entering the US market with an aflibercept biosimilar specifically engineered to treat macular degeneration. And their target market spans both the massive US B2B pharmaceutical buyers and, ultimately, everyday consumers. Make no mistake, this is a monumental shift. By bringing an aflibercept biosimilar to the US, Biocon is directly challenging the established monopolies in vision care. So how did we actually get here? Because this definitely doesn't happen overnight. Step 1. The patents on those original, incredibly expensive biologic drugs finally expire. That opens up a crucial legal window. Step 2. Biocon undertakes the massive scientific endeavor of developing the biosimilar and then successfully navigating the notoriously strict FDA approval process to prove it's safe and equivalent. And then step 3, the major milestone we're discussing today, the official US launch of their aflibercept biosimilar. Section 4. The ripple effect on prices, exploring market-driven remedies in action. So the crucial point is how this single launch impacts the wider world. For years, the US vision drug market share was essentially monopolized by one or two incredibly expensive original drugs. But now, a new, distinct slice is being carved out by international biosimilars. Introducing a biosimilar into the mix creates essential competition. In pharmaceutical economics, when a safe, clinically equivalent alternative hits the market, it breaks the monopoly. That competition traditionally exerts heavy downward pressure on those sky-high original drug prices. Historically, a monopolized biologic market just meant astronomical costs and a massive burden on the whole system. But by introducing biosimilar competition from companies like Biocon, we're seeing a projected sharp downward trend in costs. And this brilliantly illustrates the financial savings potential for the U.S. healthcare system as a whole. It's staggering. We're talking about millions upon millions of dollars saved simply by allowing the free market to introduce a highly regulated, scientifically equivalent alternative. Finally, Part 5. What this means for patients, moving beyond the pharmaceutical business news. We've talked a lot about the corporate data, the B2B markets, and macroeconomics. But let's zoom back out for a second and connect this directly to you. If you, or maybe an aging parent, are dealing with macular degeneration, there are 3 tangible real-world improvements in play here. Number 1, increased accessibility to sight-saving treatments. When costs go down, insurance companies are way more likely to cover the drug, and more clinics can actually afford to stock it. Number 2, lower out-of-pocket costs for the patient. And number 3, more competitive options. You and your doctor are no longer forced into a single exorbitant choice. So going back to that core headline that started our analysis today, Biocon debuts aflibercept biosimilar in US. It's so much more than just a corporate milestone or some dry press release. It is a pivotal moment for affordable vision care in America. It represents the successful bridging of rigorous international science with the very real, urgent need to relieve the economic strain on American healthcare. I want to leave you with this final thought. Is the rise of international biosimilars the ultimate cure for America's high drug prices? Now, while one single drug launch won't solve the entire system's woes, the entry of Biocon's aflibercept proves that competition works. It forces us to ask how many other complex medical fields could benefit from this exact same biosimilar revolution. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, keep studying, and I will see you next time as we decode another fascinating topic.